Tonight, parts of the Eyre Peninsula cleaning up after a weekend of heavy rain and power outages. And the candidates in the seat of Stewart go under the spotlight in Port Pirie.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. It's been a busy weekend for Eyre Peninsula residents after being battered by a large storm front. The devastating weather continues to impact local communities, with a series of floods hitting Cummins. Despite the damage, the local township is already looking to rebuild.
A summer storm like no other. Destructive weather blowing through our region, bringing rain, wind and damaging conditions. Local townships now looking to rebuild after a series of floods caused damage.
Thursday morning, the Polina Creek burst its banks on the southern end of the Cummins Township, and the water started to flow into that area, mainly affecting Mortlock Street, Dodd Street, Rowe, Cooper and Trigg Street.
Water not the only issue for the community. 2 residents lost their homes when a mini tornado ripped through an area north of the town. The quick response from emergency services minimising the damage.
Council, working with CFS and SES and also SAPOL, managed to put some levees up on Mortlock Street that really seemed to make the difference to stopping that water going any further.
The state government also extending their support.
Our government is doing everything we possibly can. We are still perhaps in an emergency response phase, but transitioning towards recovery phase. We're working very closely with councils, landholders, contractors.
The storm front also closing important transport routes. A number of roads connecting South Australia to surrounding states are currently under repair due to the damage.
The Stewart Highway at Glendambo between Alice Springs and Port Augusta is cut off and will probably remain so for a week or two. The railway up to Alice Springs and Darwin and the railway out west to Perth are both cut off.
The rainfall count surging past historical figures. 184 millimetres of rainfall falling at Winter Springs, breaking state records.
And that's the highest that we've seen actually in the state since 6th of February 1991, where we saw 241 millimetres at Cordillo Downs.
And there's no reprieve, with another wet weather system on its way.
Like Eyre Peninsula, Lower Eyre Peninsula won't see too much with that system, but sort of the northern parts and eastern parts of Eyre Peninsula could see a little bit more.
Despite these challenging conditions, locals across the community have rallied together to support each other in the wake of the clean-up.
So a big shout out to them, because it's amazing that that's the sort of thing communities do. They just get out and help when it's needed. So thank you to everybody that's done that.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, the storms also had an impact on Port Augusta, with blackouts and phone and internet outages affecting the region yesterday. Residents were left to endure a frustrating afternoon, while SA Power networks and mobile providers worked to restore services. Edwin McCarroll has more.
Port Augusta residents were left sweltering yesterday, with SA Power networks responding to reports of widespread blackouts. In 37-degree heat, a power failure saw air conditioners switch off across the city.
8,500 customers as well, which is probably one of the bigger ones I've seen in a while.
The incident, not a long one though, starting at 1:05 in the afternoon and lasting till 6:15 in the evening. Recent weather conditions blamed for the outage.
Most likely water got into one of the main feeders out there and blew the feeder, because there was a fairly large outage for, I think, the majority of Port Augusta was actually out without power.
The blackout causing frustration for residents and businesses alike. Phones and computers also impacted, with Telstra saying it contributed to coverage black spots across the region. The events prompting the Far North Police District to keep their front counter services open later into the night, until mobile services resumed.
We got a temporary transformer out there and we're getting a new one installed, so it's not completely resolved yet, but we will be getting that.
Power has now been restored to the city, while ongoing works to return telecommunication coverage to normal levels has continued throughout the day.
Police are continuing to investigate a fatal crash at Kelledy Bay over the weekend. Emergency services were called to Snapper Hill Road at 9:15 p.m. on Friday after reports a Nissan Patrol had rolled. The driver, a 21-year-old man from Port Lincoln, died at the scene. Major crash investigators flew from Adelaide to investigate. The man's death was the fourth life lost on SA roads this year. The candidates for the seat of Stuart have faced a question and answer session in preparation for the upcoming election. Voters expressed their concerns and solutions for the region's biggest issues ahead of March's poll.
It's a four-horse race that could be won by no more than a nose. Members of the public having the chance to put the Stuarts' candidates under the pump over the weekend. Covering a number of topics, the candidates were grilled about their election pledges. Labor promising to bring more doctors into the region, on top of its already announced Port Pirie Hospital upgrade plan.
There is investment by the Labor Party for health in this region. As a consequence of that, that is how you retain and it's also how you attract. Without investment, you're not able to do either.
The Greens want to increase mental health services and make it more accessible.
It is heartbreaking to see people having to wait so long for appointments when half the time, if they have to wait 6 or 8 months, they might not think they have 6 to 8 months.
The state government committing to improving healthcare, also promising to assist the region's ailing hospitality and tourism industry.
We've given the hospitality industry what they've asked for in that regard, and our intention is as the health risks decrease, the restrictions in place will decrease as well.
Independent candidate Jeff Brock pledging to fight for mental health services and housing shortages.
Both parties say that there is money out there for these services, whether it's 10 million, 5 million, whatever it may be, but we don't have bums on the seats. We don't have people there.
Christian Comanos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, Whyalla Council and Crime Stoppers team up for a new crime prevention partnership. And Broken Hill Council turns its attention to improving Imperial Lake. Welcome back. Crime Stoppers South Australia has teamed up with the Whyalla City Council to build resilience within the community. They are encouraging residents to speak up if they suspect something is wrong in their neighbourhood.
A partnership that's aimed at bringing about a safer community in Whyalla. Crime Stoppers SA teaming up with the City Council with a new initiative to help investigate unsolved crimes and report suspicious behaviour.
Coming out to the regions, a place like Whyalla, it's a wonderful place to do a partnership with Whyalla Council, the community and also with SAPOL support.
Authorities say the fear of crime has a great impact on confidence in the community. The program encourages residents to contact Crime Stoppers if they find anything suspicious, empowering community members to play a role in keeping the city safe.
We'd just like to encourage anyone from the community that has any information, albeit big or small, to report that in through the Crime Stoppers number.
For the Whyalla City Council, the partnership is their latest initiative to maintain safety within the local community. Mayor Claire McLaughlin confident the new campaign will put the power back into the hands of residents.
This is a really good collaboration between the Whyalla City Council, SA Police and Crime Stoppers, and I think what's fantastic about this initiative, it's going to be a great asset for our community.
They may not wish to go to court or they may not wish to divulge their identity. Crime Stoppers, again, isn't really worried about your name. We just want to know the information.
Anyone with information or a tip regarding a recent crime is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Renters in Port Pirie are struggling to find a place to live as house listings continue to get smaller. With property prices going up, experts say investors are choosing to sell their homes instead of leasing them out.
Times are tough for renters. From today, Port Pirie has just 6 available houses for rent in one of the worst shortages the region has seen. Real estate agents are reportedly inundated with phone calls every day from those struggling to secure a home.
The market in Pirie has always been, reasonably tight. So, there hasn't ever been a lot of rentals, so in comparison to a lot of other areas. But certainly at the moment it's as tight as I've ever seen it.
The surging market has seen investors sell their rental properties, a move which is tightening the gap.
A lot of investors have been drawn here because of the percentage returns on their money, but not necessarily the capital gains. But now that the capital gains are starting to take effect, then that does make the market even tougher.
Expert says homeowners need to be encouraged to buy up to increase the rental market.
They are the sector of the market that needs to be better supported in order to deliver more housing options for the community.
The state government says they are working on ways to fix the crisis, but are yet to reveal a plan.
Well, now we've got people moving back, which is overwhelmingly good. But of course, there are some transitional challenges that go with that, like needing more housing and needing more services. So we are addressing those things.
Christian Comenos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
One of Broken Hill's most important and historical bodies of water is in line for a major renovation. Broken Hill's mayor says council is considering developing Imperial Lake into a recreation area for the community.
Reviving an old community favourite, Imperial Lake was first constructed 40 years ago by the North Mine operators. It was set up as a way to keep miners and their families in the city.
Sailing, yachting, yabbying, swimming, boating, all sorts of things went on out there. Nice grassed area, picnics, barbecues, so that's what we'd like to see happen out there again.
Council now looking to restore it to its former glory. Plans include regrassing the area, constructing shelters and barbecues, along with new infrastructure for locals to enjoy the surrounds. Though there is a bit of work to be done to get it set up, power and water is already connected at the site. Numerous businesses already lining up to help with the restoration.
There's plenty of people that want to run it at no cost at all to the community, so I think it's only a matter of time, it's not if, it's when.
The announcement bringing back fond memories for many residents who remember the lake at its peak.
I was out there every weekend when I was younger, but I also was out there just about every day. I used to even when it closed, I'd take the dogs out there to swim, walk.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. A Broken Hill Sporting Oval set for an important renovation. And we go around the grounds and check out the weekend's local cricket action. Events across the Spencer Gulf will be given a boost thanks to a South Australian government initiative. $1 million will be set aside this year to help regional events attract local, interstate and international visitors. The measure is also aimed at stimulating those economies by creating local jobs. The state government says they supported 55 events across South Australia between 2021 and 2022. More information can be found on Tourism SA's website. One of Broken Hill's sporting hubs is set to get a facelift in 2022. Councillors will tour EP O'Neill Oval to get a better understanding of what will occur when upgrades get started in the middle of this year.
A new era for one of Broken Hill's most iconic sporting venues. EP O'Neill Oval is being brought into the 21st century to improve conditions for those who use it.
The plans that have been drawn up are pretty good. I'd like to see a couple of the netball courts made indoor.
Councillors will soon have their own look at what's to come. They will tour the venue within the next couple of weeks to get a better understanding of the changes. The redevelopment of the sporting hub will ensure that community sport can continue at the Oval. The Mayor is hoping schools can get involved, helping increase participation numbers for the different sports in the city.
The cricket pitch and all that will be redone and lighting put in at some stage, so that will allow junior cricket to go on at night.
As well as a tour of the hub, councillors will be having a workshop with Barnston, the firm behind the project.
They'll ask for input on councillors and what options are, and you'd hope that councillors are out there talking to the community.
Work on the redevelopment is set to start in June and go through until December, disrupting the start or finish to some local sporting leagues. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Turning to sport now, and round 3 of the Northern Super League saw Port Augusta's teams battle Whyalla sides. At Bennett Oval, Central Whyalla managed to come away with a victory against Quorn. Here's Mark Zeta with the details.
Central Whyalla's batting lineup was instrumental in their convincing win against Quorn, with the home team securing victory with 5 wickets to spare. It was perfect conditions for play at Bennett Oval with mild, humid winds. Quorn won the toss and elected to bat first, however it was the Central Whyalla bowlers that dominated the innings. Isaac Smith getting on top early, bowling out both Liam Burry and Alex Hosking after 6 runs each. Smith also managing to get Connor McMillan out for a duck. Quorn's Scott Williams scoring the most runs for his team with 27, Central's Mitchell Byrne top scoring for his team with 63 in reply as the Roosters cruised to a 5-wicket win. In the other matches in the Northern Super League, West Augusta won their match against Rapina at Epsom Oval. West batted first and scored 78 runs, the Kangaroos failing to match it, bowled out for a measly 48. At Whyalla's Memorial Oval, North Whyalla managed to snag a win against South Augusta. While over at Quorn Oval, Central Cricket Club defeated West Whyalla by 71 runs. Moving south to Port Lincoln, and Southern Air managed to get a win against Waybacks at Centenary Oval. Wayback were no match for their opponents, Southern Air getting up by a comfortable 9 wickets. A partnership of Liam O'Day and Ben Smith sealing the win for the away team. Meanwhile at Poole Oval, Tasman defeated Charlton with 5 wickets to spare. Across the Gulf in Port Pirie, Wandera defeated Proprietary at Memorial Oval by 1 wicket. Patrick McNamara leading the charge for his team with a valuable 47 runs, while for Proprietary, Bailey Congdon was the team's highest scorer with 22. Finally to Broken Hill, North defeated Central at Alma Oval by 5 wickets. That's it for Cricket Wrap. Tune in tomorrow where we take a look at the rest of the weekend's sports results.
Stay with us after the break. Our region's jobs figures show promising signs. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. New data from the Bureau of Statistics shows South Australia created more than 4,600 jobs in regional communities during 2021. The demand for skilled employees has resulted in regional workforces growing, with the unemployment rate sitting at just 2.8%. The Deputy Premier Dan Van Hulst-Pelikan welcoming the news, saying this is just a beginning for our region. He also says new major power projects will continue to provide new opportunities. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. And after a wet and humid few days, many will be hoping there's some relief in sight. With all the details, it's good evening for the first time this week to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and happy Monday, everyone. Well, as Henry touched on earlier, that wild weather that battered the Eyre Peninsula on the weekend won't be easing anytime soon. Rain will increase over the next 24 to 48 hours across northern parts of South Australia. A flood watch and a severe weather warning are current. Now to a closer look at today's conditions, and at 3 p.m. Port Lincoln was sunny and 25, Port Pirie was partly cloudy and 38, and Kadina was 29 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Broken Hill had showers and was 34, Whyalla was also 34, Port Augusta was 37, Cleve was 29, Clare was 35, Cooper Pedy had heavy falls and was also 35 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud over northern and central South Australia with a trough is causing showers and storms. Clear skies over southern South Australia with a high pressure ridge. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas below 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Port Lincoln and Cleve will be partly cloudy and both set to reach 22 degrees. Woodnor also partly cloudy with 27. Becoming windy in Whyalla with 25, possible shower in Port Augusta and 26, and Kadina will get to a top of 27 degrees. Port Pirie will get to 29, Clare, partly cloudy and 24, and Broken Hill will have a shower or two with 27 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, Port Lincoln will be cloudy and only reach 21 on Wednesday. It will get to 24 degrees in Whyalla, Woodner, Kadina and Broken Hill. Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy both 26. Port Pirie mostly sunny, 28. Sunny conditions in parts on Thursday. Port Pirie will get to 30. 28 in Port Augusta, partly cloudy in Port Lincoln with 23, mostly sunny in Kadina, 26, Whyalla also 26. That sunny weather continuing into Friday. Port Pirie and Woodner both 31, Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy will reach 30, Kadina and Broken Hill will get to 29. It appears the wild weather system will pass in the coming days. In the meantime, I hope everyone impacted by those floods keeps safe and dry. It's back to you, John.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for your company. I'll have updates later, and we will return tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening here on 7. Good night.